This is Andi Purewal for Boxing Social, and I'm delighted to be joined by the Cobra Carl Froch. Carl, we're in your home city of Nottingham. How good does it feel to have boxing back here?
Yeah, it's been a long time. 2012 was my big fight against Butte, nearly 7 years ago. So it's nice to have it back, and someone like Lee Wood can really, the public can get behind him. He's got a nice, skillful, stylistic style that you can enjoy and watch. So, and I think he'll be all right against Doyle as well. It's a tough defence to the Commonwealth, but I think he'll be okay.
What have you made of Lee's career so far and his progression under these last couple of years to eventually get the opportunity to fight for the Commonwealth last time out and obviously now defend it in his hometown?
Been a bit of a slow burner for him, really. He's had moments of nothing happening. He lost to McDonnell, and that was a bit of a bad loss for him. He started the fight really well, but that sort of just showed how important weight making is, because at super bantamweight he struggled bad. You know, after 3 or 4 rounds, you could see that he was flagging. He had no energy, he was dehydrated. So now he's up at featherweight. I think he'll be okay. He's comfortable. Still has to take a bit of weight off like most fighters do, but he's got that energy for 12 rounds. And with his skill and his experience, and he was in the Ingle gym for a few years. He's got that style, that awkward style. Can punch a bit, and he's a tough kid. And now he's fit for 12 rounds. I think he'll have a good career.
I know with you both being from Nottingham, you'd have kept a close eye on his career as he's progressed. Where can you see him going there?
You know what? He's got to just enjoy being a Commonwealth champion, and then see what opportunities open up. Can't start looking at world titles just yet. It's a tough division, but it's got to be realistic. So stay with the Commonwealth, maybe look at the European. He needs to pick his dance partners wisely, get more experience, because although he's been a pro while, what is he, 29, 30 years old? He needs to make a move, but he's got no ring wear behind him. He's not damaged, so he can take his time a bit yet still. Just have another year, 18 months, enjoy where he is, be matched up correctly, and I think he can at least get a world title shot.
He said that he'd love to follow in your footsteps and try to emulate, not necessarily your career, because you obviously achieved a great deal throughout, but he wants to try and live some types of highs like that. Do you think he can be that guy to bring not big time boxing back to Nottingham?
I think he can do, yeah. I mean, there's nobody else really in Nottingham that's doing what he's doing. He's got the Commonwealth title. Featherweight's a real good division, it's a tough division, but there's no reason why you can't say that he can do something in this division, become world champion. He's got the right work ethic, he's had that mental boost now with the Commonwealth title, he's got that strap around his waist, so that'll lift him. He's been looked after by Dave Caldwell, so he's connected with Eddie Hearn, and he's got a few people behind him, and he knows what it's like at world level with Tony Bellew. A couple of the fighters he's looked after in the past. So I think he's in good hands. He's got a great team around him, so it's all down to him now. If he's got it, and if he's good enough, and if he wants it enough, if he works hard enough, there's no reason why he can't become world champion, or at least get a world title shot. But like I say, you've got to pick the correct opponent, and then it could all happen for him. But one step at a time. Looking forward to tomorrow night, defending his Commonwealth title against Doyle. Tough fight. You can't. It's not a gimme. He's got to have to work hard, and I'm looking forward to watching him do it.
You mentioned at the beginning of this interview, your fight here with Lucien Butte 7 years ago. Whenever I've walked past you today, I've always seen you having conversations with people about it. What's it like for you to continue to talk about that, and the fact that it lives in the memory of so many people for so long?
Yeah, it's amazing to look back on your career and know that you had so many evenings that was so many highs, and I was fortunate enough to have so many nights where I can look back on and look back with so much pride. But that was mainly to do with my mindset and my attitude, and my coach Rob McCracken. We never shirked an opponent. I won the world title against Jean Pascal. It was a tough, unbeaten Canadian, and my first defence was Jermain Taylor in America. I passed his best Jermain Taylor, but someone who had been rejuvenated up at super middleweight. Had just beat Jeff Lacey, and he thought, who's this kid Carl Froch from England? So he put on a career best performance. Maybe wasn't a career best performance. He was undisputed middleweight champ against Hopkins, etc. But you know what I mean? He put on a super middleweight career best performance and really went for it, and he nearly beat me. I snatched victory there from the jaws of defeat. I got put down for the first time in my career in round 3 or 4. Can't even remember, he hit me that hard. And then I stopped him with 14 seconds to go in the last round. That was my first defence. Then I entered the tournament, Super 6 World Boxing Classic, and fought everyone. Jermain Taylor after that, he was in the event, but I fought Kessler, Andre Ward, Andre Durrell, Glenn Johnson, Arthur Abraham. A one-sided victory performance in my comeback fight after losing to Kessler. So there's so many back-to-back big fights I've been involved in. I can look back on an amazing career, and I think when you're fighting people and you're taking the fights and you're not rejecting the challenges, you're always going to get respect from the crowd. You're always going to secure your legacy, and that's what I've done with my career. I can look back very proud and say I did everything I could to get to where I got, and I deserved everything I got by my own admission, because you know what I mean, I took my chances and I didn't win everyone. I didn't beat everyone, I didn't win every fight, but I came back from the losses and made sure that, you know, I secured my legacy.
So if you just mentioned, you came back from them losses, how difficult is that mentally to try and rebuild again and to continue to push yourself to want to become a world champion and become the best version of Carl Froch?
Listen, it's not difficult at all if you want it. It's easy. If you want something bad enough and you've still got the desire, it's not a problem. Since I lost to Mikael Kessler in my first fight in Denmark in the Super 6, and I thought, right, okay, pick myself up, dust myself off, I'm in this tournament, I fight Arthur Abraham next. Tough fight, one I could potentially get knocked out against, one I could lose against. But I just took the fight. I just got up and just said, listen, it's do or die. There's no messing around. And just so happens that fight then became for the WBC title, which gave me that extra drive. Lost the belt to Kessler, same promotional company, the Sauerlands, then had the belt, and I thought, right, it's my time now. It's time to get my own back, and that's what I did. If I didn't want it, if I didn't have the desire, it would have been hard. And you've got to drag yourself out of bed to do your morning runs. Go into the sparring sessions half cocked, not really full of any energy or confidence. But when you want to do something and you enjoy it, you make a good job of it.
You're still heavily involved in boxing as a pundit, and when you come down to events like this today, does it just give you that bit of an itch to want to get back into the ring? Does it maybe keep that fire burning inside you?
Listen, not really. I'm quite realistic. I'm 41 years old. I had a fantastic career. I made a lot of money, so I'm financially secure. I don't like talking about money, but it's a point to make, because a lot of people come out of retirement for money. If I was to come out of retirement at any stage, it wouldn't be for financial gain. It'd be to fulfil something that I think I could do. And I'm realistic. I can't come back at light heavyweight and fight a Beterbiev or Callum Smith if he come up to light heavyweight, or any of the top light heavyweights running around at the minute. Probably not even a Kovalev or someone who's probably past his best. I've got to pick the dance partner. Now, George Groves, he might be able to get down to light heavyweight, he might not. Mikael Kessler may be talking. I spoke to Mikael Kessler a couple of weeks ago. He might be coming out of retirement. He's already tried, but he got his weight down, then he got bit by something. He got some Lyme's disease or something. He was ill. He was ill for a couple of weeks, so his weight came back on. But there's people out there, Chavez Jr., for example. You know, he's up quite heavy now. What's he doing when he's resting? He's not living the life, eating clean food. You know what I mean? He's doing the things he shouldn't be doing. So if he came back at light heavyweight, who knows? So if I pick the right dance partner and I still feel it, and I'm in the gym at the minute, I'm training for a TV show which will be revealed soon, and depending on how training goes and how I feel, maybe I have a go, maybe I don't. But people can just keep guessing, because I don't owe anything to the people that just go on Twitter or Instagram giving out a load of stick and trying to have a go at people like myself who've left their legacy in the sport. They've got nothing left to prove.
You mentioned Groves and Mikael Kessler there. In particular, Groves, is that the one which you think could tempt you out the most? There's obviously been a lot of rumours floating around recently.
There's nothing to prove with Groves. Do you know what I mean? It's not like it's 1-1. Do you know what I mean? It's 2-0. The last fight was conclusive. It was great. I like Groves now. I had a good chat with him the other week. But it's something that people might want to see. But it's not something that motivates me massively, if I'm honest, no.
And just want to get your thoughts on a few other things going on in the boxing world. Callum Smith rumoured to fight Canelo. You just talked about previously. How do you think he would fare against Canelo? Do you think he'd just be too big and the size would be too much of a difference for Canelo to step up to?
I don't think it'd be too much. No, I think Canelo's very strong. I see that the other day with Jacobs, because I was like, he's not quite big enough for middleweight. Jacobs is bigger. And then when you sat ringside listening to the punches and watching the speed and the power and how solid his defence is, good head movement as well, you start to think, right, he does belong at super middleweight now. He can compete at super middle. But against the best, and Callum Smith is the best super middleweight at the minute, and he's 6'3", he's got long reach, he's getting better and better. I don't know how long he's going to be at super middleweight for, but it's not a mismatch in Callum's favour, because Canelo's that good. He's that good. But I would tip Callum Smith to beat Canelo, whether people believe that or not, or maybe they would agree because of the size difference. But yeah, good fight. I think it's something that you'll really get excited about, because there's not much for Callum Smith to do unless he steps up to light heavyweight. So if he's staying at super middle or coming up to super middle, Canelo, what a great fight that is. It's one I'd love to see, but I'd pick Callum to win.
And also just wanted to get your thoughts on Crawford the other week. Do you feel that Amir Khan quit?
Yeah, I think it's a shame actually, because I did an interview earlier, give him a lot of props. He's had a fantastic career, Khan, and he's got a lot to be proud of. I mean, I can remember some of his, when he fought Marcus Madana, I never seen anyone get hit so hard and so often. And he just spent his whole career, not most of his career, his whole career, being so brave. Yeah, not always ended well for him. But what happened the other night against Terence Crawford, I just think the writing is now on the wall. He got hit in round 1 and he was all over the place for 2 or 3 rounds, holding on, looking for ways out, trying to manoeuvre himself, using his feet well, throwing little fast punches, then running off, with no intentions really of doing any damage. And every time he got clipped, his legs were gone. So I think he knows himself now that he's got to be realistic and look at his career and say, look, I've had a great career, I've been a fantastic addition to pro boxing for years, he's made enough money, I'm sure, to just say, let's bow out now with some dignity. And I'm not going to tell him to retire, because I did that before and he went on and had a good few fights. But I don't like to see people get ironed out, because it's dangerous, it's bad for your health. It might be okay now talking and walking and feeling good, but in 5-10 years, when it kicks in and deterioration starts playing a part, and scientifically we know now that concussion gets you later on in life. So it's all right now, but what's he going to look like, and how's he going to be coherent in 10 years? Is it going to be working for him? So now's the time to make a decision, not just for himself but for his family, on where he wants to take his career. Because against Terence Crawford, yes, he did quit. People are arguing, did he quit, did he not quit? He got hit in the leg, he didn't take the 5 minutes, he then quit. But I'm glad he did, because every time he got clipped, he was all over the place. And I'm not giving him stick, I'm being honest. He's had a fantastic career. I think he should bow out now gracefully.
Eddie mentioned he'd like to make the Kell Brook fight. Is that something that would interest you at all?
It is, yes, because that's when I talk about bowing out, you've got to pick your dance partner wisely. I'm talking about if I came out of retirement and fought, I'd have to pick the opponent. And I think that Kell Brook's passed his best. Kell Brook's had better days. Well, I know he has. And he's looking a bit fragile. He's not as quick as he was, not as strong as he was. He's got a bit of damage around his orbital eye sockets and that. So, yeah, that's not a bad fight. But to be honest, Amir Khan didn't want that fight when the fight was hot. Then the fight came back around and people wanted to see it again, but not as much. And Amir Khan didn't want the fight again, and he went off and fought Crawford. And what happened, happened. It wasn't good what happened, but that's happened. So he should be happy with what he's got. He got out, really. He made a sharp exit, didn't he? The trapdoor got open and he got out the Crawford fight without getting too much damage. I think now the interest for the Kell Brook fight isn't there. I think it'd get left out of town. And I don't know if I'll be in trouble for saying that, because Sky Sports might end up trying to sell the... What do you reckon to the Amir Khan Kell Brook fight? Would Sky Sports sell that one? Would we have it?
Sky Sports Andy Scott, that is, that Carl's talking to.
Yeah, he's not sure. See, it's a fight that generates interest. It's a fight that people would probably still want to see, but for me the gloss has been taken off it. It really has. And after Amir Khan's last performance, like I said earlier, I'd like to see him bow out gracefully.
And my final question, a couple of days ago we had the Vasyl Lomachenko-Luke Campbell fight announced for a vacant WBC world title. What was your thoughts when that was announced?
Luke Campbell was a top amateur, Olympic gold medalist, and he's got fast hands, he's got that skill set and that counter punch and good defence and good movement. And Lomachenko is obviously, pound for pound for me, is one of the best of all times. So he's the favourite going into the fight, but it's not a mismatch. Because if you're not going to fight, if you're not going to put yourself in with the best, what's the point in boxing? So I think it's a good fight, very interesting. You've got to pick Loma to win. You've got to give Luke Campbell a bit of a chance. You really have.
Well, Carl Cobra Froch, I appreciate your time. I look forward to the trilogy with George Groves. Thank you for speaking to Boxing Social.
Pleasure, mate. Always a pleasure.
Thanks, Carl. Thank you.